It's game week 2 deadline day. It's Friday morning and now I'm tempted to bench boost. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are well and you've enjoyed your game week 2 planning. But in today's video, I'm going to tell you the 4 names that are currently on my bench and why bench boost is a real possibility for me. Before we do that, we should look at the positives and negatives of bench boosting so early. Many call this the weakest chip. It is. Last season I had a horrendous bench boost. We have double chips this year. We have to use a bench boost before game week 19 on a single game week, right? We can save the other one for the doubles later in the season like we always do. But if we're using a bench boost on a single game week, for me, I want to do it before I wildcard. I don't know exactly when I'm going to wildcard, but I know it's going to happen in the not too distant future. I want to be able to wildcard focusing on my 11 and even considering a dead spot or two. By the way, I'm at Stockley Park. I'm on my way to the Premier League to do the fantasy show. This is where they do the VAR and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool. Obviously this wasn't a planned video, right? If you're enjoying it and hopefully the audio is good, I'll keep it quite brief. Hit that like button, but also please do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Drop a comment, and on my train journey back later, I'll get back to you as well. So look, that's the obvious positive. Bench boosting before a wildcard, I think makes sense. The plan was always to do that. The negatives are you won't get the optimal bench boost. If you wildcard and then bench boost, you can make sure you've got 4 players all playing good minutes, whatever. And as we'll see, I've got 1 player on my bench who isn't going to start, might not play any minutes. It's effectively a dead spot already in Mark Guiu. But I want to talk about the positives first. Martin Dubravka. Most people substitute goalkeeper, right? I'm sure many of you have got Dubravka on your bench. Well, Dubravka has Sunderland at home. Burnley won't have many winnable games. This is one of them. And I know Sunderland were good last week and Burnley were bad, but Sunderland were at home, Burnley were away to Spurs. I don't think we can read a huge amount into that. Burnley have got a real chance. Burnley finished above Sunderland last year in the Premier League. Burnley have got a real chance of getting something from that football match. Of course, Sunderland can go and score and you don't get your clean sheet. And no one's saying Martin Dubravka is going to get a clean sheet. I think the bookies have him at about 35% likely. His odds most week will be 10% likely. If ever there was a week where Martin Dubravka does get a clean sheet, this is the week, right? Okay, so that's a big tick for bench boost. You have Dubravka in a good fixture for him, okay? The other players on my bench, I've currently got Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall is taking corners for Everton. He should start as the number 10 for Everton. He was a 90-minute man in game week 1. Everton were poor, but they've got Brighton at home. It's an okay fixture. It's the new stadium. There should be some buzz. Dewsbury-Hall is someone I'd happily pick in my 11 this week. I'm between him and Pedro Porro. At the moment, I've got Dewsbury-Hall on the bench. So Dewsbury-Hall should play 90 minutes, could get DEFCON, could get an attacking return. He's an absolutely fine pick. And it's a good-ish home fixture for him. Nico Williams, Forest, defence. I already have a Forest defender in my 11, and going to Palace, I expect them to concede. But what we see from Nottingham Forest in games like this last season is they surprise a clean sheet, and even if they don't, their defenders are good for DEFCON. Now, Nico Williams could pick up DEFCON very comfortably. He'll be playing up against Daniel Munoz and Ismail Assar on that right-hand side. He's going to be busy. DEFCON's a real possibility for Nico Williams. Again, not bad on a bench boost. Not bad on him. Not optimal, but your bench boost should never be optimal. Otherwise, you've probably built your squad wrong, right? Your bench boost should be budget players. So Nico Williams is on there. I'm perfectly happy playing him. Remember, Palace played, of course, on Thursday night. Could they be a bit leggy? Maybe, although it was a home game on Thursday night. So those 3 names I'm all perfectly happy with on bench boost. The 4th name's a problem, but I don't think he should completely mean we don't bench boost. Now let me look at the other windows as well. So let's talk about Mark Guiu and then look at the other bench boost windows. Mark Guiu. Mayenda scored. Number 9, first choice. Number 2, second choice, number 9, is Isidore. He came off the bench and scored. At the moment, Mark Guiu is 3rd choice striker at Sunderland, and they only play one of them at a time. They only play one number 9 at a time, and the other 2 have scored. I don't think Mark Guiu even gets off the bench. I think Isidore comes off the bench. Mark Guiu could cameo off the bench, but I'm going to get 10 minutes best. I'm going to get 1 point at best, it feels. Probably going to get 0 points from Mark Guiu. Far from optimal, I know. But when's Mark Guiu ever going to get many minutes? Probably isn't. You're probably chancing it. And even if he does, there's a good chance it's a 2-pointer or a 1-pointer. I don't think we should be bench boosting central to Mark Guiu. We've made our beds. Now, of course, you can use a transfer on the Mark Guiu spot. Every transfer we make effectively in my head costs 4 points. I could sell Mark Guiu and I could buy Lyle Foster of Burnley. Lyle Foster is 5 million, he's going to start for Burnley. I've got 0.5 in the bank, right? I can make that move. That's worth 4 points. Is Lyle Foster going to score 4 points? I'm not so sure. In fact, some of us at home, it's not the worst idea in the world. It's of course something I will consider. That's the only transfer. He's the only 5 million forward that actually gets minutes. So that is perhaps part of my thinking, or it's a dead spot in Mark Guiu. And am I ever going to use a transfer on a 5 million forward, 4.5 to 5? No, I'm never going to do that. I will likely, whenever I bench boost, if it's pre-wildcard, have Mark Guiu getting 1 point best case scenario. So I've got to forget about Mark Guiu this week or make a transfer to Lyle Foster, and I don't think I want to be using a transfer there. So that's where I'm at with bench boost. There is a world in which I use it. At the moment, I'm 50-50. And the reason I'm 50-50 is this morning I've spent a lot of time looking through all the fixtures moving forward for my team on planner websites to go, I don't have a bench this strong in the next 10 game weeks. And you've got to do that if you're going to bench boost. So there's a 50% chance I use it as it is. There's a 50% chance I use it, 50% chance I don't. And of that 50% chance I use it, I'm again like half of that is I'll buy Foster and half of that is I'll keep it as Guiu. You can tell I'm reacting to this news. Like, in my head, I woke up and I was like, I've got to really consider this bench boost. I put it out on Twitter and everyone hates it. Oh, Mark Guiu's not going to get any minutes. I know that. And I know that's going to be the case in a month's time when I play it too. The other 3 players, Williams, Dewsbury Hall, and certainly Dubravka. Dubravka and Dewsbury Hall, good fixtures. Williams, good player. I'm considering it, guys. Anyway, thank you for watching. Do subscribe to the channel. I'll try and do a deadline stream later where I lock it in, if I can do a deadline stream. But thank you for your love, and I'll see you next time.